Hello and welcome to the Reading Indie Live 2025 Reading Festival special, where we are going to get in depth in all things to do with the festival and what is going on and what is coming up. So some major changes at the festival this year compared to last year. Some of that revolving around the Chevron stage, which was first introduced last year, replacing the old main stage east-west setup where you kind of go back and forth between the big acts, and it gave you a good chance to see a lot of the action with not a lot of breaking time, so that worked quite well. Last year the Chevron got introduced as more of a dance orientated stage, also had this sort of net of lights above it to sort of enhance the performance for artists to think about visually. However, that only really worked once it got dark. So we know out of the chat between Reading Borough Council and Festival Republic, that the debrief that happens each year, that there was some talk about having more of a roof over it, so that would kind of enhance it more. So that would be interesting, because obviously it's in the outdoor space, so it'd be interesting to see whether they can sort of achieve that this year or not, or whether they've kind of abandoned those plans. As we speak, the build is happening, so we don't know, not everything's up and set up yet, and they haven't kind of completely shown pictures or plans of what's going to happen there. So major changes around the campsites as well, a whole range of different camping options, some sort of serious upgrades to kind of like what the offer is in some of those. So it'd be really interesting to see what the feedback is like based on the camping experience this year. But so going back to that Chevron stage, so there was a major sonic carnage last year. It caused real problems with the artists on the main stage and the Chevron stage being on at the same time. This most directly affected Lana Del Rey's set, where Sonny Fodera's bass absolutely stomped all over her. Now, this was neither artist's fault, although Lana Del Rey was very quiet, and I really can't decide if that was somebody on her team or the Festival Republic side that really got that levelling completely wrong, which didn't help the situation. But obviously, if Sonny Fodera hadn't been on at the same time, it wouldn't have mattered a jot, and you'd have still been able to enjoy Lana Del Rey. But you know, she commented on it a number of times and was clearly very unhappy with it, quite rightly so. So we don't have that problem this year, because we have some clashes during the day earlier on, but there's obviously the sound levels will be quieter. But when we get higher up, it'll be a bit more like the old main stage east and west setup, where you kind of can go backwards and forwards between the two. So that is the Chevron stage. So the biggest change this year is there's no Radio 1 branded stage, when we've had a Radio 1 stage of some format for quite a good number of years, either a Radio 1 stage or it's existed in some other form, like there was the Radio 1 Extra sort of dance stage, various other things. So it's always been like a Radio 1 sort of branded stage there for quite a while. That isn't there this year. It's kind of a bit of a shame, because like last year, the Radio 1 stage had some excellent acts on it. Like some of my favourite moments of the entire festival were there. I mean, Beabadoobee, Wonder Horse, Confidence Man, the Wombats, 4 sets that really stand out in my mind straight away. Lots of other great artists there too doing their thing. And it does feel like we've lost a chunk of live music overall across the festival because of that. It has to be acknowledged that it's very difficult running festivals at the moment, and it's very difficult running live music in general right now. The costs have gone up phenomenally over the last few years. Since COVID, there have been major issues across the board. It's really hard for acts to make a living out of touring. It's very hard for festivals to keep running. So I think we do need to bear that in mind when we're discussing kind of like some of the changes this year. But it does seem to me that the festival has moved to this strategy of trying to pin down these international stars. So obviously this year we've got Hozier, we've got Chappell Roan, we've got Bring Me the Horizon, and Travis Scott. And all of those artists have been sort of locked up in deals, which means that they're either, this is the only thing they're doing in Europe this year, or the only thing they're doing in England, or the only thing in the UK. So this is not cheap, kind of locking these people, particularly Travis Scott. I mean, who knows how much his contract is worth, but it's a fortune, I would imagine. So it feels like that a lot of money's been chucked at these top stars. So it does feel like we've kind of lost some mid-level artists that we kind of previously would have had at the festival. So there's maybe not so many of those sort of upper middle names to enjoy this year. It does mean there's a lot of talent, younger talent, a lot of exciting new bands are being given the chance to shine, which I think is great in a lot of respects, because a lot of them are ready to go and will seize this moment and really prove that they are deserving to be on these stages with these audiences. But, and this is the big but, isn't it? It's like, if you lock up these sort of international megastars on these contracts, you kind of expect them to do well, to sell out. Now, we are less than 10 days out from the festival at the point I'm recording this. I mean, then the build is going up at the moment. But the only day at Reading day tickets that is sold out is the Friday with Hozier and Chapel Roan. So Bring Me Horizons Day and Travis Scott's Day have not sold out the day tickets yet. This is unheard of for the day tickets not to be gone by this point, especially when you've got somebody like Travis Scott on an exclusive European contract. You'd think that that would have just gone like that. So it kind of feels like, actually, have Festival Republic got something wrong here, that they are not sold out? The weekend tickets, I mean, have been gone quite late in the last few years, so who knows, there might still be a rush on them yet, but it feels like people are being very standoffish to the festival this year, and it feels like it's going to be a smaller festival because of it. So it'd be interesting to see what pans out in the next couple of weeks. So amongst the changes, the Festival Republic stage has been effectively bumped up to the 3rd stage in size for like the live music. Previously, it was only either the sort of the 4th or the 5th size stage present on the site. Now, what we don't know at the moment is what that's going to look like. So will it still be the same Festival Republic tent as the recent years, kind of like a slightly smaller space? Or will these artists be moved into the old Radio 1 tent size, so we've got a bigger tent there? Or will the new Smirnoff stage, the underground dance stage, go into that space? Or will we see like a completely different reconfiguration of tents? Like will we see like new tents, different size tents for these things to be in? There's a lot of unknowns at the moment, so I think once the build is complete, we'll start seeing some pictures coming out. We should have a bit more of an idea. So the Smirnoff stage is the new stage for this year. That's got an underground dance sort of DJ offering going on most of the day. Now, interestingly, it looks like there's a couple of points where there is almost sort of nothing else on offer against the main stage headliners. So with Hozier on, it looks like there's a couple of things on the Festival Republic stage. But with Bring Me the Horizon and Travis Scott, there is the only option other than those artists is what is on at the Smirnoff stage. Now, there are some big gaps across the festival site at the moment, so I'm really going to cross my fingers that we get some exciting, unexpected guests this year, some secret sets, some things that are going to really make you go, oh wow, can't believe that's going on. Because I mean, a couple of years back, if you go back to 2023, I mean, we had secret sets from Softplay. That was one of the highlights of the weekend. Absolutely brilliant. Bombay Bicycle Club, that was really good as well. Last year, I mean, the secret sets were just kind of like 3 artists from other stages appearing on the BBC Introducing stage. Now, it was nice for some of those artists, like Big Special, to kind of go back and be supported, who'd been supported by BBC Introducing, to kind of pay that back a little bit and do a little extra there. But all 3 of those acts that appeared on there were already on the site on those days and had already done a set. So it didn't really kind of feel particularly special on that. But this year, I think we need some wow factor, because I mean, there's been some struggles. So a couple of weeks back we had Lola Young pull out. Which is obviously a big shame. There's a lot of people coming for her, as she's been a real rising star over the last year. I mean, had Lola been there, Messi on the Chevron stage would have been an absolute moment of the weekend. I'm sure that it would have been a huge moment, very enjoyable. And now, as I'm recording this, over the last couple of days, it's very, very clear that House of Protection have also dropped out. Now, obviously, a lot of people might be going House of Who, but if you're into your rock music, your slightly heavier music, then you are going to wanted to go and see House of Protection. Now, it had to be said that, I mean, House of Protection were in a hideous stage clash on what was being set up. Enter Shikari on the main stage, Wonder Horse on the Chevron stage, and even The Pill, who were a really fantastic band as well. Saw them earlier in the year. They're on the BBC Introducing stage. So that kind of 4-way clash of bands, I mean, I kind of almost, in some ways, glad House of Protection aren't going to be there, because it gives me slightly less of a headache in terms of what to do, because I wanted to be at them, wanted to be at Wonder Horse, would love to have seen Enter Shikari. I feel like Enter Shikari are going to get a bad deal out of this setup. Being up against Wonder Horse, loads and loads of people are going to want to be there. If you're not familiar with Wonder Horse, I mean, this is an amazing band. I mean, their performance last year on the BBC Radio 1 stage was absolutely fantastic, phenomenal. They have just got an real energy about them. So you listen to them, recorded they are good, but live they are an absolute revelation. Watching them, say, on the BBC Radio 1 stage last year, It was kind of like watching, at times it reminded me of kind of seeing like Radiohead at their peak, and also gave very strong Nirvana vibes on a couple of tracks as well. This is a band that is absolutely going places. One more album and they will be ready to be headliners of things like Reading Festival without absolute doubt. So let's get into some of the stage lineups and some of the artists for this year. Despite some of the wider things going on, there is still some fantastic talent at the festival this year. There are things that you are absolutely going to want to go and see, things to get really excited about. Friday on the main stage, we've got Red Rum Club and Alessi Rose, a couple of up-and-coming artists there. We got the Royston Club. If you're not familiar with them, they are one of the finest young indie bands in the country, from Wrexham, and have just put out a fantastic new album, really good new album, highly recommend it. And they've really upped their game over the last couple of years. Like, they've been touring lots, they've been playing lots, and they put on a good live show. They're getting better all the time. And 2023, I mean, it was very clear you were watching a rising band, because they had a lot of fans there just for them. Like, it was a really packed in the Festival Republic tent, and those guys were absolutely mad for what was going on. So I'm sure that will be really lively down the front with that, because they really have a big following. We have this new slot from Festival Republic this year, the idea of the Icon, so something that's going to happen each year. So a slightly older band, they're kind of being celebrated in some way. So this year it is Block Party, and it's 20 years since their debut album Silent Alarm came out. So expect that to either be played in full or say to be forming the majority of their set. So they got an hour as being part of being the Icons, which is a bit more time than some of the bands around them obviously will get until later on in the day. Block Party are a great band. It's a great album. It should be an absolutely fantastic moment. So that's one to definitely look forward to. Another band I'm really looking forward to on the Friday, because I've never seen them live before, is the Kooks. I mean, these guys just burst onto the scene back in sort of 2005, 2006, and absolutely just stormed the place with their debut album. I mean, it was everywhere, and you know, tracks like Naive were just kind of all over the radio. Massive kind of like radio play and streaming and all the rest of it. And you know, they've never really gone away. Every 2 or 3 years, the Kooks have kind of come back with a new album. Kooks are going to be a great afternoon festival band. There's going to be lots of sing-alongs to all those tracks that you know, and those tunes you recognise. And you don't have to be a big fan of theirs to be familiar with a lot of their catalogues. So that is going to be an absolutely great time. Then we come on to Chapel Roan, and it's not often you get me very excited about a pure sort of pop artist, as opposed, I mean, you know, generally it's all about the guitar bands, but Chapel Roan is that rare exception. She is a phenomenal talent. Her album her debut album is stunning. It's got so many brilliant tracks on it. She can put on a live show, and I just like, you know, it's pop with just a bit of an edge to it. I mean, obviously there's a lot of her experience sort of growing up gay in sort of the American Deep South, and kind of like the reactions to that. So she's an important artist for our times, I feel, and I just think it's gonna be a massive show. I mean, you know, she and Hosier are co-headliners, which basically means that they both get a full set. So we're going to get a full 90 minutes sort of from Chapel Roan if she wants to go to that full length, and then we get 90 minutes from Hosier. Hosier, you know, there was a few mutterings about, like, is this a promotion too far? Is he really sort of like a Reading headliner? But you look, first of all, at his streams on Spotify and various other things, and like, you know, this is an international megastar. Let's not pretend he is anything else but an international megastar. And he has very much got into that live arena of bigger venues, big outdoor venues. He's been doing these things for a couple of years now. It will be very professional. It will be well put on. You know, he's got a great voice and he's got some great tracks in the locker. So there's definitely plenty on offer from Hosier there. So Chevron stage on Friday. I think Nems is one to get excited about. If you like your rap and your hip hop, then like, he's definitely on the rise this year. Popped up on a lot of collaborations with various other artists. So that's definitely one that I think could be a very enjoyable set there if you want an alternative to Block Party. Still Woozy brings some real summer vibes with them. That should be quite laid back, quite chilled, quite a nice performance, I think. Soft Play on the Chevron stage. Now, if you haven't seen Soft Play and you like your guitar music livelier, go and check them out. Like, they are second to none in terms of live performance. They just put everything out there. It's always spectacular. They've really got a big reputation at Reading for some of their previous performances, and they're going to be great. Rudimental, I mean, what can you say? One of the best dance acts around. Love a collaboration, lots of tracks with lots of different artists. I expect we probably see a few guest stars there. Charlotte Plank is lower down on the bill. He's obviously done a couple of things with them, so I expect her to be back on stage doing some of the vocals with them later on. But who knows, we might get a few interesting guest stars as well. Top of the Chevron bill on Friday is AJ Tracey. And I think this is going to be an absolute moment for him because he is having a year. Not only has he put out a fantastic album himself, but over the last couple of years, you know, it's tough to name an artist that he hasn't done a collaboration with in the sort of rap and hip hop scene of late. And they're all high quality. Like, you know, he will do a great performance here. This is going to be a big moment for him. I think that this is really going to be one to enjoy. So I'm looking forward to that. Other things across the Friday that have got us really excited include Jasmine 4T. If you've not seen Jasmine 4T or you've not heard any of her stuff, like, just go and have a listen now. The debut album is one of the best albums of this year. It's just a really beautiful album. It's a quieter album in a lot of places, although, you know, it does have a little rockier kind of edge to it. Jasmine is a bit of a skate punk kind of fan herself, so you kind of get that kind of band influences in there, and she likes to throw in a few covers as well, so that should be a really good show. Really important up and coming artist supported by all the members of Boy Genius. Sophia Isella, also Festival Republic stage. Really intriguing. I'm really looking forward to her set, possibly more than any other this weekend, because this is an artist I just want to see, like, what is going on in the live arena, because what's recorded has just really made me go whoa so far. This is very much like a young female version of Nick Cave almost. There's a real kind of air of menace around some of the tracks. There's sort of a real sort of haunting kind of intelligence in there. Just lots of things that make me go, wow, she's really going to be one to keep an eye on. So I think this is going to be a good opportunity to catch somebody who could explode in all kinds of different ways in the next few years in sort of the mainstream consciousness. So another artist on Friday that's really got us excited is Heartworms. Jojo Orme is a very unique artist. There's not many people out there you would say being inspired by sort of Second World War aircraft as like one of their main inspirations. But Jojo volunteers at the War Museum and is a bit of an expert on these things, and has just created such a unique album because of her own interest and her own sonic musical interests as well. You know, it's a little bit goth, it's a little bit rock, it's a little bit indie. There's all sorts of things going into the melting pot there. And she is an absolute talent to watch. It's a name that's going to be going places in the next few years. Last year, Mannequin Pussy was supposed to perform, pulled out at the last minute. So they're back this year, given a slightly higher sort of position at the bill, reflecting that they've had a really good year as well. I mean, they've really got some great music, great sound, so they would be one that could easily be enjoyed as well. High Vis in the chats be both very lively as well. I think, in all likelihood, I'm probably going to skip Hosier and see High Vis in the chats instead. I think that they will speak to me more. I always prefer to be at a smaller stage if I can. Like the bigger stages, I have to really want to see an artist to be out there, because otherwise it's just too much sometimes. I do like those smaller stages. At the BBC Introducing stage on Friday, there are some really, I mean, all the acts are decent. I mean, it's a really strong lineup this year from the BBC Introducing stage. My picks would probably be Girl Group, who've just got some really quirky kind of tracks going on there, good energy. And Overpass are a really good young indie band that I think have got a lot of potential. Now they are playing at the Bullingdon very soon, so it could be a case of actually going and see them in the Bullingdon rather than here. Something I might do, because I don't think I'm going to get to them on the Friday. So Saturday at Reading is all about Bring Me the Horizon. This is a band who are absolutely going to claim this moment. They are so ready for this. They've obviously headlined at Download and various other places recently. And this is absolutely their time. They are a band who have been about for a while now. They've got some great albums under their belt. They have a reputation as one of the best live performers around right now. With their visually, they have a stunning live show. Expect an amazing performance. I mean, last time they appeared in 2022, they brought out Ed Sheeran as a special guest, so who knows what could happen as the actual headliners this time around. But I've definitely feel that they will be blowing all non-believers away, that you will come away from this going, wow. So also on the lineup, we've got Limp Bizkit, been around a long time now. There was definitely felt like there was a period where you could only kind of like Limp Bizkit in an ironic kind of way. It feels like they've been reassessed a little bit in recent years, and that they've kind of settled in as the elder statesmen of new metal, and that now it's kind of okay to like some of their music for what it is. And they do what they do very well. They've got some tunes in the locker. I mean, my personal favourite's always Rollin', and I love the cover of the Mission Impossible theme tune that they did for MI2. Who knows whether they'll be playing that or not, but that would make me very happy if they did. So also on the main stage for louder guitar music lovers, we got South Arcade. So South Arcade are probably the best thing to come out of Oxford since Glass Animals and Foals. A very, very good band. Kind of get talked up in a kind of new metal or Y2K revivalist kind of sense, but I to be honest, I think that undersells them. They just do really good party rock, basically. It's forward thinking. It's very now. And they are a very, very good band. So that will be an absolute moment for them. The band I think always should be higher in the bill really than them, but is lower down, is Lambrini Girls. Now, Lambrini Girls are fantastic live. If you haven't seen them, you must absolutely go and see Lambrini Girls on the Saturday, because they are just brilliant. They are just righteous feminist punk rockers, and they will bring absolute bucket loads of energy. They will get their message across as well. There are some very important messages that they carry in their tracks, thinking about how the representation and the treatment of women. I think that there will be quite possibly very pro-Palestine as well on that day, but they will be bringing the energy and they will be bringing the performance. And I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest things they've done so far, but they are ready for this. They are absolutely incendiary in their live shows. And are well worth watching and checking out. A bit more chilled on the Saturday main stage is Royal Otis. Again, saw them a couple of years back at Reading on the Festival Republic stage, and they were great. They really were. They just really bring the summer. They are an absolute kind of like perfect band for a summer festival. The new material off the album, which isn't out for a couple of weeks yet, just sounds great. They are ready for a moment. They are ready to progress. They are ready to be a much bigger band. Royal Otis, they are a fantastic band. The name that kind of stands out a little bit on the bill on the Saturday on the main stage is Conan Gray, who is a massive pop star in the United States. Doesn't quite have that same level of reputation over here yet, but he is a guy who is going to be massive globally amongst pop music, without an absolute shadow of a doubt there. Looking at the Chevron stage for Saturday, Example will be fantastic in the afternoon. Very much a well-seasoned performer, great singer, great producer, got some fantastic classics under his belt. He, again, knows how to work a crowd. That's going to be a solid performance. Bakar and Paleways will both put a good show on. I have no doubt about that at all. It really is all about Wonder Horse on there. For me, they're going to be, that is going to be an absolute moment at the festival. Those guys in action. But then we've got another Reading Festival favourite, someone who's been to the festival a few times recently, but she has not disappointed any time she's been on, and that is Becky Hill. So obviously first known for sort of popping up on tracks with other artists, but has now kind of like got a couple of albums of her own under her belt. And she's just a great singer, great performer. She's got the tunes in the locker. Really enjoyed her set a couple of years ago as the sun was going down. And she will be one to watch this year yet again. I have no doubt about that. So Becky Hill, absolutely one to watch. So looking across the other stages on the Saturday, Mouth Culture, a really good rock band to look out for. We've got an interview with them out on the 15th, so you can find out a little bit more about them there. Bill Murray obviously have a very strong reputation and kind of fit in well with that sort of the vibe, say, that's going on across Saturday. Barming Tiger will be ones to watch out for well. So kind of like this sort of K-pop indie band hybrid. So like much more guitar-y than a lot of K-pop artists, but they still got that sense of fun to them, so that could be a really enjoyable set as well. Looking at the BBC introducing stage, there's some great acts on there. I could recommend virtually everybody on that list. Finn Foster stands out as a real sort of rising star of the North East, kind of following in sort of Sam Fender's kind of footsteps a little bit there. A little bit more singer-songwriter around the edges there. But there's plenty of sort of indie credentials there too, and guitar music. And again, check out our interview with him if you haven't yet, because it's well worth a read. The Pillar are a really great young guitar band from the Isle of Wight, but going places pretty quickly. Supported Green Day in Belgium a few weeks back, which is quite incredible considering that they've only been in tiny venues really until that point. But they've got the firepower, they've got the songs to do it, they've got some great tracks, really worth checking out again. So coming on to Sunday on the main stage, if you've got a really bad hangover from Saturday, Demey is going to be an absolute great way to start your Sunday. Very laid back, kind of sort of jazz soul kind of vibes, really good singer. So that's a really nice chilled way to sort of start your Sunday out there. So following on from Demey, we've then got a Reading local on the main stage, which is always a fantastic moment when that happens. That is Songer, who's sort of the rap and hip hop artist. Produced a nice little album in 24. Been appearing with collaborations with other artists in the sort of rap and hip hop world over the last year. Got some new material of his own starting to appear now. Brilliant new single, Alive, came out a couple of weeks back with a video shot entirely in and around Reading Station. So he really is as Reading as it comes. And I'm in no doubt that this is going to be a very big deal for him. Being on that Reading main stage, he is going to be very emotional, I'm sure about it. But, you know, it will really be a lovely moment to see him enjoying that. Water Parks, one for sort of Blink 182 or Fall Out Boy fans. They're one of those bands that, like, actually, you know, you think like, oh, they're quite new, aren't they? But actually, they've been around for nearly 15 years and a number of albums now, so they know how to put on a show. That should be a very solid performance. Seagulls are very much consummate indie professionals. They're one of those bands that just seems to permanently fly under the radar. I mean, their debut album probably was their peak in many respects, in terms that they got a lot more attention, kind of like Radio 1 and people at that point. And they've gone a little bit off since then in terms of like being visible. But that's not to say that they're not producing very good music, and they will put on a really good show. These guys play well, they perform well, they can work a festival crowd. It will be really worth seeing if you like your indie guitar music, without a doubt. And just say, why are they not more well known or bigger than that? I don't know. It's just one of those things like that. Like, why do some bands just never seem to quite click to like a slightly bigger level? Suki Waterhouse is one of the more intriguing artists of the weekend. Initially a model and done some acting, kind of moved into music more in recent years, been dabbling since about 2016, but say more seriously since 2021. 2 really good albums under her belt. So this is not just like an actor who is having a go at some singing. This is someone with a really good voice and lots of ideas. I mean, it's not just pop, it is very indie pop. There's all sorts of different ideas running through the music. Very intriguing artist. Definitely one that I think I'd like to go into with an open mind and hope to be quite blown away by, I think, because there's definitely some interesting stuff going on with her. If you like your guitar music, old school, garage rock, fairly big and dumb, then Amyl and the Sniffers will absolutely deliver for you. There's a lot of Australian bands on the lineup this year, and these guys are probably the biggest deal of the lot, although Royal Lotus may have something to say about that very shortly. But they will rock hard. They will absolutely deliver a high energy performance. A little bit in two minds about whether I'd rather see them or catch Lovecat on the Festival Republic stage, who is like a real interesting up and coming artist as well. Lovecat has a kind of quirkier kind of indie sound, sort of some darker pop around the edges as well, but a really interesting artist too. So that's something, there's a bit of a clash there that I'm going to have a think about. So it's then very rap centered. We got Trippie Redd, we got D Block Europe, and then Travis Scott as your headliner. I'd be interested to see whether it's sort of like a more low-key show or a very big show from him. He's capable of doing either of those things, even if it's just him and a guy with a laptop putting out the beats, then it is still very commanding. He's still a very commanding presence. I think it will be pretty insane down the front. I don't think it will be dangerous. Obviously, there is some people who talk about him in relation to what happened in 2021, where a number of people lost their lives. Now, that was at a festival that he put on himself. I think with hindsight, he appreciates that a lot of people got in who shouldn't have been in. It was over capacity, that the security was not as good as it was. But then saying that, you've seen some footage of some things from like Italy in the last year where there is some crazy stuff going on in the crowd. Now, Reading Festival, you won't be able to sneak flares in. It will not be over capacity. It is really well designed at the front of the main stage, so it kind of breaks down into sections. So there's just no way you can get a massive crush going, because at the moment there's any sign of trouble, people can be pulled out by security, or security can shut it down straight away. So for those who are kind of like, oh, Travis Scott, it's going to be dangerous. It's not going to be dangerous, but it will be insane down there. It will be like mosh-tastic. There will be people losing their minds. I have no doubt about that at all. So like I say, I will be a little bit further back for that one. So looking around at other things on the Sunday on the Festival Republic stage, Anthony Schmerich will definitely draw a crowd. If you're not familiar with him, he kind of does sort of a spoken word poetry, kind of like over dance beats, kind of getting quite a good reputation as a live act in festivals and things. So he's somebody I'd be interested to go and see, just to see whether I prefer him more there than I did on record. I kind of enjoyed the album, but like, you know, there was had some issues with it, but it'd be interesting to see what he's like live. Matilda Mann is another one that stands out a lot, got a really good sound there. So Matilda Mann, I think, is well recommended. I mean, looking at some of the options, am I going to go and see D Block Europe? No. I mean, I appreciate that they are a massive act and that plenty of people will be going to enjoy them. I personally find their lyrics and their attitudes towards women concerning. So I'm going to be at Niamh Ella during that one, who is a really good up-and-coming kind of like indie rock, indie pop kind of artist. So another act I'll be seeing on the Sunday on the Festival Public stage is The Dare. This is a singer and a producer from New York who's got a lot of talent, I think. I don't think the debut album entirely did him justice. I think there were some very good tracks on there. I think there were some weaker efforts as well. But there's been some good stuff has come out since. There's also some things for the special edition version of it. And he's also got a more sort of dance orientated track, Trampoline, out at the moment, which is also showing a different sort of facet to his abilities. And I think that this is a guy who is absolutely going to dominate the music scene in a few years' time. He's going to be a real strong one. Some very LCD Sound System vibes. If you like LCD Sound System, you will be very happy going to see The Dare, I believe. Looking at the BBC Introducing stage on the Sunday, Clifford's absolutely stand out to me as one to go and see. A fantastic Irish band. I don't know what they are got in the drinking water over there at the moment, but it just seems like everybody in Ireland is in a good band. I mean, there's probably about 5 people who are not in a band right now. There are just so many good Irish bands about, and they're all doing phenomenal things. But Clifford's are really strong. These guys, you know, will be going places very soon. So catch them on the BBC Introducing stage if you can. And then another act to catch on the BBC Introducing stage is Wench. Now, these is a very new band. They've only got a few things out. But they sound phenomenal. They're from Hull. They are very, very young, but they are just so high energy. Like, this is really proper good punk rock. Really got a good message going in their stuff. And I think that they are going to be actually explosive over the next couple of years. So go and see Wench while you still can on a tiny stage, because they are going to go places. If you like your R&B and soul, then go and check out Maxine. She's from Newcastle, very much been supported by BBC Introducing over there. And you to check out our interview with her as well. So we'll be doing a little bit more videos as we get closer to the festival, just updating on a few things here and there. And we'll be doing a bit of a live blog and some video across the 3 days as well. Come and say hi if you see me. And if I don't see you, I hope you have a fantastic festival. All the best. See you soon.